Have you ever had a moment where a single thought changed everything? Where you knew the right thing to do, but another voice in your head whispered something else? Today I want to tell you about Marcus and the 5 seconds that taught him the most expensive lesson of his life. Marcus was 25, living paycheck to paycheck in downtown Chicago. He'd been out of work for 3 months, sending out resumes every day, getting rejection after rejection. His rent was due in a week, and he had exactly $47 in his bank account. That Tuesday morning, after another failed job interview, Marcus was walking through the business district, feeling completely defeated. That's when he noticed an elderly man struggling with several heavy briefcases outside a high-rise building. "Excuse me," the man called out. "Could you help me get these to my car? It's just around the corner. I'll pay you for your time." Marcus didn't hesitate. "Of course, sir. No payment necessary." But the man insisted on giving him $20. As they walked, the elderly gentleman introduced himself as Robert Chen, a retired businessman. "You know," Robert said, studying Marcus carefully, "you seem different from most young people I meet. More genuine." When they reached the parking garage, Robert paused. "I have an unusual request. I'm driving to my office across town, but these cases are too heavy for me to carry alone. Would you be willing to come with me? I'll pay you $200 for your time." Marcus's eyes widened. $200 would solve his immediate problems. "Yes, absolutely." As they drove, Robert explained, "I'm liquidating my business. These cases contain important documents and some valuable items I need to secure." He gestured to the 3 briefcases in the back seat. "That one contains contracts worth millions. This one has rare coins from my collection. And that one," he paused, "that one contains $50,000 in cash for an emergency business deal." Marcus felt his heart skip. $50,000. That was more money than he'd ever seen in his life. When they arrived at Robert's office building, the old man seemed to struggle with the stairs. "Marcus, I hate to ask, but could you take the cases up to the 15th floor? My arthritis is acting up today. Just leave them with my assistant, Mrs. Patterson. I'll wait here and catch my breath." Marcus nodded and gathered the 3 cases. They were heavier than expected, but manageable. As the elevator climbed, his mind began to race. The old man was alone downstairs. He seemed frail. The case with $50,000 was right there in Marcus's hands. He could walk out of the building through a different exit, take a taxi to the train station, start a new life somewhere else. The thought came so suddenly it shocked him. "He'll never catch me. He doesn't even know my last name." Marcus shook his head, trying to dismiss the thought. He wasn't a thief. He'd been raised better than that. But the voice persisted. "You've been honest your whole life. And where has it gotten you? Broke, unemployed, about to be evicted. This old man probably has millions. He won't even miss $50,000. Floor 10, floor 11, floor 12. Think about what you could do with that money. Pay off your student loans, get a car, move somewhere with better opportunities. This could change everything." Floor 13, floor 14. Marcus's palms were sweating. His heart was pounding. The voice in his head was getting louder. "This is your chance. This is fate. How many opportunities like this will you ever get?" Floor 15. The elevator doors opened. For 5 seconds, Marcus stood there, frozen. He could see Mrs. Patterson's office at the end of the hall. He could also see the exit sign pointing to the stairwell. In those 5 seconds, every value he'd ever held, every lesson his parents had taught him, every principle he believed in was battling against the voice of desperation and greed. He turned toward the stairwell. Marcus ran down 15 flights of stairs, burst out of the building through a side exit, and kept running until he reached his apartment. His hands shaking, he opened the case marked with cash. It was filled with newspaper clippings and a single envelope. Inside the envelope was a letter. Dear candidate, if you are reading this, it means you chose the wrong path. I am Robert Chen, CEO of Chen Industries. I've been searching for someone to lead my new foundation, someone with integrity, character, and the ability to resist temptation when no one is watching. The position comes with a $150,000 salary and the opportunity to manage millions in charitable giving. Unfortunately, you have disqualified yourself. The other two cases contain similar tests. This was your interview, and you failed. Marcus read the letter 3 times before it sank in. He grabbed his phone and called the number on the letterhead. Chen Industries. This is Marcus. I made a terrible mistake. I need to speak with Mr. Chen. I'm sorry, sir. Mr. Chen left instructions that if anyone called about the briefcases, we should tell them the position has been filled. Marcus spent the next 3 days trying to reach Robert Chen. He went back to the building, but security wouldn't let him up. He sent emails that went unanswered. He even waited in the lobby for hours, but Robert never appeared. 1 week later, Marcus saw a news article. Local businessman Robert Chen announces new charitable foundation, names unknown candidate as director. The article mentioned that Chen had conducted an unusual interview process to find someone with unshakable integrity. That night, Marcus sat in his empty apartment, he'd been evicted that morning, and thought about those 5 seconds in the elevator. 5 seconds when his entire future had hung in the balance. 5 seconds when he'd let fear and desperation overpower everything he claimed to believe in. The cruelest part wasn't losing the money. It was realizing that his integrity, the one thing he thought no one could take from him, was something he'd given away himself. Marcus learned something that day that changed how he saw himself forever. We are not our intentions. We are not our values. We are not what we tell ourselves we believe. We are what we do when no one is watching, and everything is on the line. 6 months later, Marcus finally found a job. Not the job he dreamed of, but honest work. Every day, he thought about those 5 seconds, not with regret. Regret was useless, but as a reminder that character isn't built in the easy moments. It's built in the moments when doing the right thing costs us everything we think we want. Your character isn't determined by the big decisions you make in front of others. It's determined by the split-second choices you make when you think no one will ever know. The voice that whispers, just this once, or no one will find out, or you deserve this, that voice is always there, waiting for the moment when you're most vulnerable. The question isn't whether you'll hear it. The question is what you'll do when you do. Marcus's 5 seconds of weakness cost him the opportunity of a lifetime. But they taught him something invaluable. Integrity isn't about being perfect. It's about choosing who you want to be, one decision at a time, especially when that choice is hard. The next time you face your 5 seconds, and you will, remember Marcus. Remember that the person you become is shaped not by your circumstances, but by how you respond to them when everything is on the line. Who will you choose to be?